This is my first time interview with you, and I'm so lucky that each time you bring us so much diverse cinema experience. And how did you usually start with a new project? What's the first thing you did for Aquaman?
The first thing I do with any projects is see if a particular project sort of fire a spark, creative spark in my head, and once that creative spark gets lit, I kind of, sometimes I go away, I work on other things, and it just kind of keeps growing and growing, and eventually I can't ignore it anymore, and that's how I know I've fallen in love with the idea of making a particular film, and that was the case with Aquaman. The seed was planted a while ago during when I was making Conjuring 2. And it just kind of just grew and grew, and eventually I started thinking about the character, thinking about the world, and then I realized I could kind of do something a bit interesting with it.
You definitely bring your own stamp on the film. Every time in your movie, the family is always the key,
yes.
And the relationship with the character.
Yes.
Yes. And
yeah, I think it's important that the human element resonate with the audience. You can make a really big sort of fantasy world and take the characters on a sort of really crazy journey into a world that they're not familiar with. However, the human element needs to be familiar. And I think that's important, and that's what ultimately grounds the audience with something that they can relate to, whilst the character in the film go on this kind of crazy journey.
you are no stranger to the one long take shot, and there are quite a few in this one. And what's the most challenging one?
I mean, they're all challenging. They're not easy to shoot, and sometimes even though it's one shot and it takes, it really should be shot in real time, but it takes days to shoot it, to get it right, to get the timing and all that right, and so they're all difficult in their own ways.
Why do you want to challenge yourself
because,
in this way?
I'm a fan of, if I have, I like the one shot allows me to showcase the environment without kind of cutting it up editorially. And so once the audience have a geography of where they are, I think it helps them better understand the way the action would play out, because it's less confusing because you know where you are. And that really is important, especially if I have action set pieces that are happening over here and that's opening over here as well. I like to sort of tie them together.
Best moments on set.
On set, when we go outside and we shot the scene where we're in Sicily, and we that the scene in Sicily outside was the wine shop where
the rooftop.
The rooftop run and the wine scene was moment for me. That was fun, and then the ruins where I'm fighting the guards. That was also
Best moment on set? When we rapped.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we rapped. It was a hard movie to shoot.
It's painful or just
you're
having fun?
A bit of everything. Very long.
You've tackled the street battle in Fast 7, and how about the under the sea battle?
They're challenging in different ways.
Because we are all in the movie, in the theater.
Thank you. The biggest challenge for me is how do I shoot this? How do I create like a undersea battle, undersea sort of sword fights that we haven't kind of quite seen before, and so,
do they need to move different?
Well, I mean, the way we did it was we started out by doing it just on the flat ground. We lay out the choreography between the two actors, or the two stunt actors, and they lay it out, and we lay it out on the ground, and then we take it to the next level. Like we put them on harnesses and rigs and have them fight, but now they're sort of floating in a floating space. And then the next step is me trying to go, okay, now my camera can spin upside down, capture it, and do a really interesting way to kind of capture the fight, because obviously gravity plays differently underwater.
Was the Annabelle cameo your idea?
There is no Annabelle cameo. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a
Okay.
different movie. This is Aquaman, not Conjuring.
OK，